first American high school band to perform in England's Battersea Easter Parade, the biggest parade of the year, and the pride of Duncanville, the Panther Band Flag Corps and Drill Team were in the lead.
Tea and Trumpets, brought to you by Redbird Datsun.
Britain was in the midst of war. The newspaper headlines flashing news of the Falkland Islands crisis. At the War Ministry and at number 10 Downing Street, the residence of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, the international press gathered outside as decisions were made inside. Unemployment, too, occupied the minds of British citizens. That is, until the Battersea Easter Parade, a parade the Duncanville Band began preparing for long ago.
We learned that they were looking for a band to do the Easter Parade in October of 1980. And we were introduced to the fellow who was actually looking for the band. He came and watched us perform. Seemed very interested, took some of our tapes back to London, and as we discussed the possibilities for the trip, we became more and more interested in actually trying to do it because of the fact that it provided a chance for us to perform for people who had never seen this type of performance before.
The enthusiasm was there, and much of the community quickly rallied to help raise the necessary funds, but lack of media attention hurt.
The main difficulty was $270,000. That's what took a long time. But we had difficulty the first 8 months getting any media attention, which caused us to have to take the money in much smaller chunks than we had anticipated. It was only after the trip was canceled and we received wide media attention in the Metroplex that we started receiving large donations, which made the trip possible.
With the money finally in only moments before the deadline, the nearly 400 students and chaperones boarded Braniff's largest 747 for the trip April 8th.
There's a lot of folks making their way to Redbird Datsun country because Redbird Datsun stakes their reputation that you're going to get the very best deal around. Right now, you can get these 1982 Datsun 210s at just $2 over actual cost. The 210 by Nissan, built solid and stylish with exceptional gas mileage. Maximum value with maximum variety. The 210's a car you may never want to part with. The corral of savings at Redbird Datsun rounds up great used cars in prime condition with savings you'll never forget. We accept only top condition used cars for resale, so you'll save money all the way down the line. And wait till you see Redbird Datsun's trucks. Built rugged, roomy, and tough with luxurious interiors for comfort both on and off the road. We promise you up to $2,500 in discounts in our corral of savings. Doesn't that make Redbird Datsun the logical place to go for a truck that never stops trucking? You know, there's a lot riding on a Datsun. Redbird Datsun stakes their reputation on it. Come to Redbird Datsun country and see.
Brighton Stadium and the football game between Bright and Arsenal. It was the band's first performance, and in the words of one student, from the first performance at the football game, you knew it was going to be special.
felt a real surge of energy when we walked into the stadium at Brighton, and the crowds there who had never seen a halftime show like that before. This was for the Brighton Arsenal soccer match. We marched the pregame for that.
It would be expected here, but it's highly unusual and very rare in England for spectators to applaud the way the Brighton crowd did. Some even had tears in their eyes, testimony to the impact this band had upon their host. 8 performances in 6 days, a hectic schedule, and a lot of work for the students whose job it was to load and unload band instruments.
I guess the only thing that was unexpected was the number of times that we had to actually load and unload the equipment. There was sometimes we'd have to unload the truck, move it a block, and do the whole thing over again. So that was sort of a problem. It took more time than we anticipated. And we had students doing all of the work, and they had to work tremendously hard. It was a very difficult week for them, so very tired. By the time they finished that last load and unload, they were extremely tired.
Sunday in the Battersea Easter Parade, the event which had occupied their minds and energy for a year and a half. First came the warm-ups, stretching exercises, and practices before a British television crew. And then the parade itself, over 2 miles with people lined 20 deep the entire way. Despite numerous performances before family and friends at high school football games, various parades over the years, and stiff competition in band contests around Texas, it was a new experience for both the band and the spectators.
You were a little bit scared to kind of get out there because there's a lot of different people staring at you, and instead of us taking pictures of everybody, they're taking pictures of us.
It was a lot more exciting. It was different. Everywhere you looked, there was somebody's camera was pointed at you, and they were just. It was like they're still coming. It's still the same band. They were so shocked at our size.
The Easter Parade was a tremendous experience because of the fact there were so many people live there. You know, we marched for about 2 miles, and I don't think that the crowd ever thinned to fewer than 20 deep on each side of the street, which is rather unusual for a parade in this country. Normally in the U.S., our parades will have a lot of people for a block or two and then nobody for a few blocks and then another crowd, but it was solid people for 2 miles.
There's a lot of folks making their way to Redbird Datsun Country because Redbird Datsun stakes their reputation that you're going to get the very best deal around. Right now, you can get these 1982 Datsun 210s at just $2 over actual cost. The 210 by Nissan, built solid and stylish with exceptional gas mileage. Maximum value with maximum variety. The 210's a car you may never want to part with. The corral of savings at Redbird Datsun rounds up great used cars in prime condition with savings you'll never forget. We accept only top condition used cars for resale, so you'll save money all the way down the line. And wait till you see Redbird Datsun's trucks. Built rugged, roomy, and tough with luxurious interiors for comfort both on and off the road. We promise you up to $2,500 in discounts in our corral of savings. Doesn't that make Redbird Datsun the logical place to go for a truck that never stops trucking? You know, there's a lot riding on a Datsun. Redbird Datsun stakes their reputation on it. Come to Redbird Datsun Country and see.
On Monday, the band had time for some sightseeing and touring by bus. Then it was off to Cheltenham and Tuesday night's concert, a concert far different than many had ever experienced.
the people were so involved in what we were doing, and we were so caught up in performing for them, and there was this real communication between us and them that you don't reach very often. It was obvious in every way that they were really moved by what we were doing, and we were moved by the response that they gave to our playing.
When the band played in Cheltenham, that was, we got to watch them perform, and it was really a shock to us. We didn't know the band could play like that, and the people, because you hear them every day on the field at practice, and it sounds so much different. You get used to it, and we heard the different types of music that they play, and it was beautiful, and you really realized that there was quite a few musicians in our band. And we talked to some of the English people that sat behind us during intermission, and they wanted to know all about the band and all that we could tell them, and it was a neat experience.
In the smaller towns like Cheltenham and